So let's talk about the reason that you're stuck. You are not making any strides to get to where you want to be. You are just literally drifting. You got 1,000 excuses for why it is that you haven't accomplished your goals. And worst of all, you are stuck where you were last year. If this is you, then this video is for you. And it's time to get unstuck. But let's talk about the reasons why you're stuck. All right. You have a very poor self concept. This is the start. And I would almost wager to say this could be the end. Okay. The beginning and the end of the reason why you're stuck. So, what is a self concept? It's confidence in one's own worth or abilities. Period. Right? We have talked about discipline on this channel. We have talked about confidence on this channel. But how we see ourselves is going to be the most important key to getting to the place that we really want to be, right? Rhyming aside, right? That is really the goal here, is to improve our self-concept. That's the whole reason for this channel, to be honest with you. I'm here to motivate, educate, and inform, right? Here, there's not much is going to be for entertainment. I might do some trips and travel and stuff like that, but really all of that is even to get into your mind that if I'm doing it, you can do it. If you can see it, you can be it, you can do it, right? So it starts by what you're telling yourself each and every day when you get up in the morning. What are you telling yourself, right? What does your ideal self look like? I want you to begin to really get a mental picture of what this person looks like. If you were the highest version of yourself, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your current situation, your current coins, your current whatever it is that is, that's your thing right now. Whatever you see in the 3D, right? It doesn't matter what your bank account is right now. I don't care what any of that is. What does your ideal self look like? I need you to get in the rhythm of thinking about who that person is. What do they move like? What actions are they taking on a day-to-day basis that get them to the point where they are where they want to be? I need you to see yourself there. I need yourself to start taking those actions, at least writing those actions down, maybe. At least start there, writing the actions down. That's going to be a big way to sort of maybe get to this place where you can start to say, okay, this person that I envision myself as, what they're waking up at 7 a.m., right? They're getting straight up out of the bed. They're hitting the gym upon rising. They're eating a nice balanced breakfast. They're reading their motivational books in the morning to get some type of motivation in their mind to start their day. They are then coming back, showering, sitting down at their computer, opening their computer, doing their work, writing their book. I'm talking to myself right now, right? They are, for me, my current actions are I'm making my videos. I'm preparing this, which is sort of like what I think of as the lesson for the day or the motivation for the day, the value of the day. What did I do that was of value to someone else? That is what the person that I see in my mind for myself, that is what that person is doing. So I'm taking those actions daily. So I will tell you guys that I did have to take a couple of days off because I was like really, really sick. I had some type of stomach virus, but at the end of the day, there was still days that I had to still try to force myself to work, right? The key to all this is I think, therefore I am. Whatever I think I am, I actually am. So if you are busy telling yourself, well, I'm lazy, I don't have no money, I don't look good enough, I don't have the right equipment, y'all know I started my YouTube channel with an iPhone, right? I was operating from an iPhone for about a good year and some change. I really was. I mean, that's all I did. My first couple of videos that I did on this channel, I was using my iPhone, like point blank, period. But I didn't let that stop me. I saw myself in this space, and so I did it. I didn't care what I had or what I didn't have. I made use of what I did have, and I just rocked it out from there. If it helps, I think that one of the best ways to get ahead in life is always to write things down. I've been telling you guys this. There is something about seeing your goals written down in your own handwriting that I think it just really, I don't know, it seeps into your subconscious. And it also helps keep you on track, right? What are your goals, responsibilities? What are the things that you want to see yourselves doing each and every day? I think you should write it down. And I think when you write it down, do not write it down from the space of I want. Write it down from the space of, oh, I got it. I got it. I'm going to Switzerland, right? I think I told y'all this. I kept seeing Switzerland every time I would open my Instagram. I kid you not, because the algorithm and the things be listening to you. You know what I'm saying? But I kept seeing it every time I would open Instagram. The mountains, the snow, the waterfalls, the trains, and now I find myself preparing to go in a couple of weeks. And of course, I'm gonna take y'all with me, right? So for me, I think it's about, again, writing it down, putting it out there into the universe. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm at right now, right? Not looking at where you physically are, but where you are in your mind, right? You are already that person. So you need to move like it. All right. The next thing is you exist in a state of lack. You are letting the absence of what you want define who you are, okay, and what you do. That ain't no good, friend. That is not any good. Again, it goes back to that whole idea of, oh, I don't have this, I don't have the right equipment. Oh my God, everybody else who's doing it, theirs looks so great when they do it. I can't do it. Wah, wah, wah. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. At a certain point in time, it's got to be about results, and it's got to be about work with what you have. Work with what you have. And nothing, honestly, can stop your mind and your imagination. That's the thing. So many of y'all are spending so much time consuming news and what's happening in the world around you versus working on yourself, spending time within yourself to realize that everything that you need in life, it really revolves around you. Spend less time in the 3D and more time in your mind. Meditate, use your imagination, and then take inspired action. We're going to talk more about inspired action in a minute, but you got to spend less time thinking about your current circumstances. That's what I mean by the 3D, right? You got to spend more time here conceptualizing, right? Meditating is a great way to clear your mind of all the junk, dirt, and debris that we surround ourselves with, usually on a day-to-day basis, right? So the best way to clear the clutter in our minds is to meditate. And then in the process of meditating, and I know this is going to sound crazy to some of y'all, because some of y'all don't really believe that what you can work out in your mind, you can actually do. However, everybody, why were you given a brain? I want you to think about that. Why were you given a brain? You were given a brain to think. You were given a brain to imagine. You were given a brain to process. You were given a brain to conceptualize. And that is what I'm telling you to do. When you were a kid, your idea of conceptualization and imagination were much less restricted, because for some reason, as we grow up, we are programmed, we run into people, places, and things that make us feel like what we want in life is limited to what we can see based on what is around us, other people's opinions, thoughts, and actions. And what I'm here to tell you is that if you spend more time here planning, thinking, imagining, strategizing, notice I've never said worry. Notice I've never said fret. Notice I've never said become anxious about. I am telling you to spend more time visualizing the life that you want to have. You need to focus on the feeling of having everything that you want and need. So, this idea of experiencing it in your mind, what does it smell like? to be in Switzerland, in those mountains, on that train, eating a nice piece of decadent chocolate, while you're being served champagne and tea and all the things, and I could feel the weather is cold, so I need a sweater. Like, those are the things that I can feel myself on the plane in business class, laid back with my feet higher than my face as the flight attendant serves me a cold, crisp glass of champagne and says, "What would you like for dinner?" And I want a nice piece of juicy steak and potatoes and a biscuit. More champagne, please. Actually, I'll have a whiskey and Coke. Whiskey and Coke me down, baby. I can see it. I feel all of that with every fiber of my being. Sometimes when I've had a long day, I tell myself, you need a nice long 9-hour flight in business class, because that is the best amount of relaxation, sleep, and freedom that I feel in my life. It is the best feeling to me. It is the biggest piece of stress relief for me. That's why when I go on trips, I told y'all before, I always do the flights. I ain't relying on nobody else, because I know that vacation begins as soon as I sit down on the plane. Period. So I want you guys to practice that. Focus on feeling what you want, right? And then I need you to start removing the distractions. I'm going to tell you something contrary to what everybody else is going to tell you right now, is news and social media are not your friends. They're not your friends. I'm not saying to walk around here not knowing anything, but what I am saying is, here's the thing with news. Much of it you can't change. What you can change, do, right? Vote. Take those actions, right? But beyond the idea of being vaguely aware of what's going on and doing what you can in the instances that you can, you really have to remove the distractions when it's time to sit down and really focus on the things that you have to do. And social media, I'm here to tell you right now and today, it is a deep, dark, dismal abyss of distraction. It is. It is. And my thing is this. I want you guys to think about this. If you're a creator, you need to be creating more than you consume. That's my tip for anybody that is in a similar space. Create more than you consume. Unless you are consuming materials to help you get to the next space, or you've carved out time simply for pure entertainment. Do what you want in those times, because the mind needs time to rest, right? However you choose to do it, my suggestion would be pick up a book. Pick up a book. Reading is a lost art, okay? The next thing is you are failing to prioritize. Man, the first thing I do, I'm going to tell y'all what I do. The first thing before I can get anything else done outside of, eating my breakfast is always my priority. I'm not doing nothing until I eat breakfast. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's happening. I need something in my stomach. That is just how I'm wired. I need me some eggs. They say a nice little bit of protein and fat is good for you in the mornings. So I make sure to eat my eggs. I eat my Ezekiel bread toast that you put in the freezer. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be better for you than regular bread, right? I get the kind with the raisins in it. And I drink my tea in the mornings. And that's how I start my day. It makes me feel good. I have a nice little routine. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing I do is my money-making activity, okay? Whatever my money-making activity is for the day, I get that out of the way first, period. I don't care what else happens. Everything else is secondary to that. And then at the end of the day, I can't do everything. So I've also learned I can't put 10 things on my to-do list. That's just not me. That's just not the way my mind works. Some things cannot be a priority today. I can't do it. So they're going to have to be put to another day. If I can, I can. If I don't, I don't. But my goal is top 3 to 5. And I've learned that that's really good enough for me. Fail to plan and you plan to fail. Okay? I am a person who fights planning. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I fight it because I'm a Cancer. I like for my days to feel free and floaty, But let me tell you something. That don't really work to get things done. Okay. That's my baseline personality. So this is a fight for me. I'm gonna have to admit that to you. But me planning and writing things down, it has definitely helped me to prioritize what needs to happen each and every day. Get a planner, use Notion, get an app, use your notes. I don't care what you do, write it down. Nothing else matters until the priorities are accomplished. When my first money making activity is out of the way, that's when everything else matters. Period. And again, I remove distractions. I cannot be distracted while I'm trying to do my money making activities. I can't be. And you shouldn't be either. You are also seeking comfort over uncomfortability. This is something that I have to talk to myself about daily. Being afraid of moving out of your comfort zone. A lot of you are afraid because you're afraid of what these folks online gonna think about you. You afraid what your friends gonna think about you. You afraid of, what so and so down the streets, mama gonna think. What kind of audacity they got to be chasing their dreams? What kind of audacity do they have to think they an author? What kind of audacity do they have to think that they can get online and be a creator or an influencer? And you be so afraid of what these people thinking. You be so afraid that you can't even make a move, and you in your head all the time because you are really comfortable in this limited space that you think everybody else is putting you in, but it's really only you, babe. It's you. You keeping yourself hostage in this space, and it's not getting you anywhere. It's not getting you anywhere. It's not doing you any favors, and that is why you are still stuck in the same place you were last year. You ain't seen that much growth because you are so afraid of moving beyond what you are comfortable doing that you will not allow yourself to grow. It's a shame what we as adults do to ourselves. Everything you want usually lies on the other side of fear. It sounds cliche, but it is. The things that you want most in life, you're usually afraid to do or go after them, for you are going to have to move out of your comfort zone in order to obtain it. So that fear is keeping you locked in to the same place that you have been for these past few years or decades for some of us. My my wish for you is that you would learn to take one uncomfortable step at a time. One little step. One little step every day. You know, for me, it was, I had a lot to catch up on today. And because my stomach had been acting so weird over the past, few days, I was actually kind of like, oh, I'm a little nervous about what to eat, or, if I should work out today. But I said, all right, I'm going to get down here. I'm going to do my push-ups, and then I'm going to do my Peloton. And I did it. It was uncomfortable to kind of get back on the train, but I feel good as a result. And I feel like I'm back to normal. So I'm celebrating those small wins. I'm celebrating the fact that I did it. It may seem small to some people, but when you've been sick and you're trying to get back on the good foot, I mean, it's not always the easiest thing to do. So my my charge to you today is to celebrate the fact that you watched this video, that you made it all the way through to the end, that you took some notes. Celebrate the fact that you opened up your camera today on your phone and you took a video of yourself and you recorded yourself doing something, or you sat down to write the first page or the first chapter of your book, or you started, working out again, you started taking that class, you bought a course, you did whatever that thing that you wanted to do that's going to advance you to the next space in your life. So the other thing is, you're not finding or seeking or utilizing resources. For me, I'm going to tell you guys, I have propelled myself forward by leaps and bounds every time I've gotten a mentor. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. When I was at AfterBuzz TV and I didn't know that I was about to move to Miami. I didn't know I was about to get a talk show. But well, it was a morning news show. Let me clarify that. But I had just done Stripped on Bravo had just appeared. That was the show I was on. And I was like, what's next? And so I met with my mentor at AfterBuzz TV. It's a place in Los Angeles where a lot of people discovered me from on my main channel and, well, on my news channel. And, you know, I sat down with my mentor there. His name is Kevin Undergaro. And I remember he sat down with me and we came up with a plan for things that I would do over the next few months to begin to navigate this space of entertainment news. And when I tell you so much changed for me after that one meeting, everything he set down for me and gave me, all the tips and tools and resources that he gave me, propelled me so far in this space. And those are lessons that I'll never forget. The second example is when I was in LA in 2016, I wrote my first screenplay and I submitted it to a couple of screenplay competitions. And well, I guess my first script, I should say. Let's call it a script. And I remember, it didn't get picked up by anybody, right? So I just kept it until this past year. And I was referred to Megamon Media and a woman named Tressa Azarel Smallwood, who has produced plenty of films. And she is one of the founders of Megamon Media. And I went to a masterclass that she did, and I knew by the end of that masterclass that I needed to join her mentorship program. As a result of joining the program, I have learned how to write beat sheets, log lines, synopses, and treatments. And I'm surrounded by people who have their movies and their films and their projects out in the world right now. And there's no greater feeling because I know that I'm on the right path. They are preying on these mentorship calls. It is a celebration every time we link up twice a month. And now we're starting to do, confidence master classes as well. So it's been amazing, right? So that's why I say to you guys to find yourself a mentor, because it really is the quickest shortcut between where you are and where you want to be. I want you to challenge yourself to find a mentor, a course, a book, or a video on whatever subject that is that you want to enhance your knowledge in, right? So for me, it was screenwriting. What is it for you? Is it writing your first novel? Is it starting a YouTube page? Is it becoming a social media influencer? Is it starting a fitness business? Is it starting a business in general? Is it becoming a real estate agent? Whatever it is, there's a mentor, a course, or a book, or a video on the subject that you can be watching, listening to, podcasts, or reading each and every day so that you can get better and better at whatever it is that you want to do, right? And it doesn't have to be every day. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe it's a book that you're reading, casually. I have a goal. I think I told you guys. I'm to read 2 books every month this year, and I'm keeping a running log of what those books are. And I have a friend who is acting as my accountability partner. Find yourself an accountability partner. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's also helped me grow is in this mentorship. I have a couple of accountability partners, right? And remember, a closed mouth does not get fed. If you are sitting around too afraid to speak up, too afraid to ask questions, too afraid to ask someone to help you, I'm not the biggest person on asking people for help, mostly because I have run into people over the course of my careers who have also taken the opportunity to kind of throw that help back at me in certain ways. And so now I'm just determined that if I ask somebody for help, I'm 9 times out of 10 going to pay them because I just feel like if I'm paying you, you can't throw it back in my face. And if I'm paying you, then I'm paying for something that I feel like is we both find of value, and you're getting your payment right then and there. And your payment is not you reminding me that you helped me, right? But I don't want that to be you, so that may not be your story. And maybe as I continue to move along, it won't be mine. And then model the actions of others who are doing what you want to do. That's another reason why finding a mentor is a great idea, because they can give you the keys and the tools and the tips to get to where you want to be. Because as we stated above, finding a mentor is the quickest shortcut between where you are and where you want to be, right? So then you have a person that you can look at, that you can model their actions and behaviors and how they maneuver and how they move, so that you can do the same thing. My goal here is to help you become the best you that you can be. That is what I feel like my mission is. As I sit down here, I think to myself, what can I impart on you guys today that will be of value, that will help you go out and do something different with your life today, right? So, yes, that is me sitting down and creating somewhat of a lesson plan. And I rather enjoy it, to be honest with you, because I know that as I read the comments and I look back and I think to myself, I left hopefully a legacy of motivation and inspiration behind. So, with that being said, make sure you guys keep it locked onto this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button so that we can get that engagement up. Drop me a comment about maybe your favorite part of the video, something that really resonated with you, what you're working on that you may need some help with, or if you need some motivation or inspiration surrounding a specific topic, then I would love to hear it so that we can talk about it next. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.